Okay, let's talk a little bit more about audiences. So the way I found that would have been from the menu here and audiences, and that's where I'm at. Let's say that you want to discover more people who are possibly interested in your services or who match your ideal client avatar. One of the ways you can do this is through lookalike audiences. So let's say you do women's glamour photography and your ideal client is between 35 and 65. You know the area that they live in and a little bit about them. So chances are the people who are most often visiting your website or any content that you create or run ads to, chances are those people, the people who land on those match your ideal client avatar, at least to some extent, because it wouldn't really make sense for maybe a man to visit or interact with that type of content because that's not a type of service or purchase that they would make if you do women's glamour photography. So let's say you just want to see if you can find more people who possibly fit your ideal client avatar. So what you can do, if your audience size is large enough, let's see, I think I can do... Or even with videos, you can do it with videos as well. Okay, so this is people who visited, so this is all website visitors. So let's say that I want to find a lookalike audience or create a lookalike audience of anybody who's visited my website. I may or may not, create lookalike. There we go. From there, you would say, that you would name it whatever you wanted to name it. I usually just, give it something that makes sense. Oh, that's interesting. Anyways, let's start over again here. Let's get out of that. They've changed some of these things. Shocker. So anyways, I want to do all website visitors or a lookalike audience to that. So I want to do create lookalike. There's a source, audience location. You can usually pretty much only do like countries and regions. You can't get super specific, so I'm just going to type in United States. So I want to create a lookalike audience in the United States, and I want to set to 1%. So I'll just read it and kind of explain what this means. Audience size ranges from 1% to 10% of the combined population of your selected location. A 1% lookalike consists of the people most similar to your lookalike source. So the people in the audience I'm creating now will be most similar to my website visitors. Increasing the percentage, creates a broader audience. So it's an estimated reach of 2 million people here. So let's say I take it up to 5% and it's going to be 10 million. You can't go down to 0. I rarely ever, you can create a couple more as well. A 1%, a 1 to 2%, you can kind of create as you go as well and create a few ones all at once, which is also new, which is kind of nice, actually, kind of saves a step there. So from there, you've basically said, I want people who are also similar to people who have visited my website. And you would create an audience. So let's see. If your original audience size is too small, it may not let you actually do that because the beginning audience is too small, so it doesn't have enough data to compile information from to find trends and then use that to find other people like that on Facebook. So from there, I would hit create audience. And then it would be the same as before, where you would choose, let's see, I think I have a couple lookalikes in here. Yep, here. So here's another lookalike I chose, that I created. It's 3 million people, so I'm going to click on it. And then the only other thing I want to show you would be, I've created one lookalike, so I'm going to create an ad. Hopefully it won't take as long to load it this time, but I'm going to show you just one thing with lookalikes first. at the ad set level actually. So hopefully this loads relatively quickly. So whatever I choose here doesn't matter because I just want to show you something at the next level. So it's already brought in your custom audience here that you created, or your lookalike here. So you can, but from here, since the size is so big, you're absolutely going to want to limit that. Plus, that's also including people across the entire country. If you're a photographer in San Diego, you don't necessarily care about people from New York seeing your ad. So then what you will want to do with lookalikes more often than not is certainly narrow by location at least, maybe a little bit further by age and demographics a little bit more. So that's just one thing to be aware of when working with lookalikes, is you will have to narrow it a little bit further there. But that's a great way to kind of use Facebook's intelligence and their algorithm to say, I really want more people like this, but I'm not sure necessarily how to find them. Can you help me find them? And Facebook can say, yes, I can find people who look like people who have interacted with you in some way. And you can do that with videos as well. So you can create a lookalike audience. So if I wanted to do watch 50% of that video, I can also create a lookalike of that as well. So you can create lookalike videos from people who have watched your videos and go from there as well. So those are great ways to help create fresh audiences for yourself that have the potential to really help you find blue waters, so to speak, or untapped markets. So anyways, that's a little bit more about audiences that I use quite a bit, and it's really common in marketing and Facebook ad marketing as well. So there you go.